Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I thought today we could do a little Q&A and get to know each other, so I asked you guys to ask me some questions on Instagram. If you're not following me on there, you're missing out on being in the Q&A, so go follow me on there. But there's a few mix of questions. There's like a lot about my back, a lot about nursing, and then just like some general life one, so let's get into it. First question is, do you miss being a nurse during recovery? Yes, so much. I miss working in the hospital. I miss seeing my peds private duty patients. I miss IVs. Like, I miss so much about working. I'm just a workaholic at heart anyway. I'm a busybody. I love being out of the house. I love working hard and picking up, and sometimes in an unhealthy way. And so this has been a really hard transition for me with literally not being able to work. I'm so glad I now have my remote job to at least occupy my mind and make me feel like I'm thinking and being useful and using my knowledge to an extent, but it's still really different, and I really miss being in the hospital. If you weren't a nurse, what would you want to do career-wise? I have no idea. I honestly thought before that I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a special education teacher, but my sister was a special education teacher, so I think honestly a lot of it was more like me wanting to be like my sister, just because I love my sister and I've always looked up to and admired my sister. I honestly have no idea. When I was little, I thought I wanted to be a veterinarian, and then I realized, oh my gosh, you put dogs down. My heart can't handle that. I can't handle like sick animals. Not for me. Future nursing plans, I honestly have no idea. I don't know, and that's really hard for me. I am so thankful to have the remote job that I have right now, but I don't know if it's my forever job necessarily, just because I don't love working from home necessarily. Like, remote is just not my thing. I like being out of the house. It's perfect for me right now. I just don't know if I'll do it forever, but never say never, and we'll see where life takes me. Really, this whole situation has taught me to like not plan out every second of my life, because that's something I've done in the past, and this like threw a huge curveball at me and affected every aspect of my life, my personal life, my social life, my work life, like literally everything. And so it's kind of taught me, or I feel like it's teaching me, to slow down, and I don't need to plan every second, and kind of just like, you know, whatever happens, happens, and whatever you try to plan probably won't work out that way. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. What was the process like for finding a remote RN job? Can you share some suggestions? I was on Indeed every single day. Finding a remote job was my job, because I was bedridden or couch ridden for months leading up to my surgery, and I would all day, every day, be on my computer looking for jobs on Indeed. I would apply to every single one that I qualified for, which I don't have a compact nursing license because I live in Michigan. So honestly, I was limited to a lot of things because they liked nurses with compact licenses. I also went to major insurance company websites to look to see if I qualified for any of their jobs. Nurse Fern is a website, and they post remote jobs on there as well. I looked at that. I didn't find any jobs on there. I didn't apply to any jobs on there just because I don't think I qualified for any of them. A lot of jobs love remote experience, so don't get discouraged though, because you will find one. I applied to hundreds of jobs and finally got an interview, and that's how I got my job. So just be persistent, look all the time, apply to whatever you qualify for, and fingers crossed it'll happen for you. That's what I did, at least. How are you feeling? I am feeling so much better. I definitely have a long way to go still. I still have my restrictions for a few more weeks, and then I'm hoping to start PT. Technically, I'm not like gonna be fully fused until a year, or at least that's what they say. I'm feeling so much better though. My numbness and tingling in my leg is practically gone, and my foot. I am having numbness and tingling in my hands, which is a new symptom. It's been going on, I guess, for a little while now, but this is post-op new symptom. So I'm thinking I had to cancel my follow-up appointment because I got hit with a stomach bug. Now my new follow-up appointment is April 1st, so I have to wait still a little bit longer before I can go, but they are going to do an MRI of my C-spine just because I hadn't had that. We will see. But I'm so thankful to be having like a sense of normalcy. I'm able to sit here and like film. I couldn't do that before. We went out to dinner for Brandon's birthday, and I was able to sit in a restaurant. I mean, I stood a few times, but like just so many things that I wasn't able to do for so long. I just got my hair done. Like it's just really exciting, and you don't even realize how many little things you take for granted. Like you take for granted every single day that you feel good and you feel healthy, you know, like until you don't have that, you don't realize you take that for granted. And it has really opened my eyes and changed my perspective on life going through this. I am so thankful for, I mean, I haven't had a pain-free day in a long time before all of this. Like it's been a long time, but for the pain to be improving and me to be hopeful that one day I will be pain-free is so exciting to me. I am focusing on like the small wins right now, and you know, I can unload the top rack of the dishwasher. I can walk around. I'm up to walking 2 miles a day now, which is so exciting. I could barely walk to and from the bathroom before, so just like these are such big wins for me. And honestly, I was saying to Brandon last night that like it's gonna be so weird to bend again. Like I don't know how necessarily the process works, but from what I can imagine, like you have to work your way up to it, obviously with PT, because all my muscles are so tight. But just like to be able to move, like it's gonna be so exciting to be able to get back into like my fitness routine and go to Pilates again and start strength training. Obviously this is like way down the line once I'm cleared and once PT clears me and all that, but just like the thought of being able to move my body in ways that I haven't is so exciting. Will you have any restrictions in the future? So I don't really know long-term what things look like. All 4 opinions that I got though advised me to not work in the ER anymore and to get a quote-unquote cush nursing job and to take it easy on my body, especially because I have a lot of issues at other levels too. And the way the fusion works, with the levels you have fused put pressure on the levels below and above that aren't fused, and that typically causes them to need to get fused. And I already have deterioration and issues at multiple levels. And so based on my age and those factors and everything, the risks and just overall well-being of my body, everyone said like, it's not the best thing for you to do. And, you know, I want to have kids one day, and I want to make sure like my body is in the healthiest condition to be able to carry a child, and like that might look different for me now. More conversations that I'm going to have further down the line with my surgeons. But yeah, life is going to look a little different. And at first it was really hard for me to cope with. It is still really hard to cope with, like being told that like you shouldn't do your job. You know, need to make these lifestyle changes. It's hard to cope with like, yes, physically my life's gonna change, but also mentally my life is changing, and just like every aspect of life is changing. So it's just, at first it was really hard because my whole life plan just got thrown out. I really struggled with that for a while, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. And that's, I think, the hardest part for me. The unknown, because I like planning things out. Kiss, marry, kill nursing specialties. I'm gonna say kill med-surg. Sorry, I just like could never. Med-surg is not the unit for me. Thank the Lord for all the med-surg nurses out there. I couldn't do it. Kiss the ER and marry peds private duty. Just because, kiss the ER, just because like the ER is just, you just gotta love her. But it's like a love-hate relationship. Like, I don't want to marry you, you know, like, but peds private duty, like, I think that job is so rewarding, so special. If I could do it forever, I would, but it is hard on your body. And so it's a lot of lifting, at least my job was. And so I don't know what that is gonna look like for me either in the future, because they advised me not to do that either. Just for longevity purposes. Basically, my doctors advised me, like, if you want to do, because I asked them, I was like, the statistics are like you'll have surgery every 10 years. And I said, I don't want to do that. Like, who wants to go through this every 10 years? Because it's not just you having surgery, right? You're having surgery, you're in pain. The recovery is so long, like it's life altering to go through something like this, right? I said to them, I don't want to, like, what can I do to prolong that statistic? Like, how can I make sure, you know, I'm in the best shape, keeping my spine healthy, preventing further issues? And they said, you gotta stop doing what you're doing. Like, clearly that's that's a part of what escalated things at the ripe age of 23. My spine is in like an 80-year-old spine, unfortunately, literally. And I was like, please tell me like what I can do, because it's this, I can't go through this every 10 years. Like I think this has been so hard mentally and physically. And then I'm thinking like 10 years from now, I might have kids. Like, how do you go through this and have young children? Just the thought of that gives me anxiety, because I wouldn't be able to take care of my kids. Like you can't lift, you can't bend, you can't twist. It's so difficult. And you have to have someone take care of you. And it's a lot. And so I was like, please tell me, like, what can I do to maintain this as long as possible? And everyone, you can't do your job. You can't keep at that pace. You can't keep doing this to your body. And as much as I love nursing and I love my job and I love healthcare, I can't do that if my body's not good. And so like I need to put myself first and not put others in my job first, because I can't have a job. If there's one thing I learned these last few months is if I'm not taking care of her, I can't work. So this is what ultimately we've decided is the best decision for me. And as hard as it is to cope with, I need to put myself first. What happened to your back? I started following you later. Long story short, my pain started in June. It got progressively worse. I was losing sleep. It started to shoot down my leg. I started to get foot numbness. Then October, it literally became debilitating. My last day of work was the absolute worst. It was my last shift ever as a nurse. These last few months was mid-October. It was like October 14th or something. And it was a peds private duty job. And I didn't work the next day. I had it off. But I came home from work and I was like, oh my gosh, like my back hurts so bad. It's shooting down my leg. I'm having severe numbness. This is bad. And so I didn't work the next day. And I was like, oh, I'm just gonna rest and stretch and take an Epsom salt bath and like, I'll get better. And then literally the next day I couldn't get out of bed. And so I worked that Wednesday, or I was supposed to, and I called off and I was like, you know what, I'll just take the rest of the week off. I'm gonna rest my back and I'll be back and at it. And that was the last shift I worked. I was, in fact, not backing at it. So then after that was when my life changed forever. I could not bend past my mid-thigh when normally I'm so flexible, I can put my hands on the ground. And it just became horrible. I got multiple injections. I had multiple MRIs. Basically, the biggest problem was L4 and L5 were unstable. I have spondylolisthesis. I have multiple herniations, nerve root compression. And then I started having like some bladder control issues. And so I had to do surgery and I had a spinal fusion. So I have some titanium rods and screws in my back now. But yeah, I tried everything I possibly could and I didn't get medical care for months because I was trying to manage it on my own, which I would not recommend. And it just became progressively worse and worse. And I had to jump through hoops with insurance, even just to like get an MRI and get injections and things like that. The whole insurance of all this was a pain in the butt. Like I had to switch providers because the one office I was using told me that I was in network, but really I was in like the second tier. So then I was paying so much money and I didn't realize it until I got the bills. And then I was like, oh my word, like why is it, they told me this was gonna be covered. So then I had to switch doctor's offices. It was just like, it was a lot. I was counting down the days. I did not want a spinal fusion. And when they told me that I needed a spinal fusion, I was like, no. I literally started crying. I was like, are you sure? Like I don't want that. And every provider, I got 4 different opinions. Every provider said the same thing, that this was the option. And I had to do that. And I was like, okay. After the 4th opinion, I'm like, okay, clearly this is the answer after looking at my imaging. I just was in denial. I didn't want to do that because who wants to have spinal surgery? But then by the time I got in and got scheduled and everything, I became debilitating in October. I didn't get surgery until January. So this is mid-January. And it was just a long process in between. And I spent every day laying down in 8 out of 10 pain. And I would get these severe muscle spasms. It was horrible. I'm so glad to be doing so much better. I'm so glad to be able to be sitting upright and out in the world again. And oh my gosh, it was really rough. My life literally just stopped, and there was nothing I could do until I got surgery. Like, I was counting down the days for surgery, which is crazy, going from I don't want surgery, I'm gonna get 4 opinions to make sure, to I cannot wait to have surgery. That was just how bad the pain was, that I literally, I wrote on this mirror here a countdown. It was rough. It was really rough mentally, and it was really rough physically, and I would not wish this upon anybody. But I'm really, 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 really thankful to be doing so much better. But that's the gist. That's the short story. If you want the long version, let me know. I just don't want to yap your ear off. Do you guys like where you're currently living? Any plans to move? We love where we live. We live in Michigan. All my family lives around here, so I love being close to family. Brandon's family lives really close too. I don't see us moving. We did, go to Arizona and travel nurse there, and we loved it. I hate the winters here, but I love the summers. I love our community we have, and I love being close to family. So I don't think we would ever leave, but never say never. I just can't imagine leaving, especially like in the future when we do have kids. Want to raise our kids near family, and that's just our choice and what we want to do. But never say never. Never know where life takes us. I just think Midwest is best. Any advice for new grad nurses? I'm a new grad in the ICU, and it's been rough. My advice for new grads is to give yourself grace. I think being a new grad is so freaking hard, and not a lot of people talk about it. You feel really dumb. Like, school prepares you, don't get me wrong, but school can only teach you so much, and you learn so much on the job and in orientation. And I just remember, especially starting out in the ER as a new grad, like, looking at everyone around me and being like, oh my gosh, I hope to be as smart as you one day. Like, you guys are badasses. You know so much. You're so smart. I'll never be able to catch up to you, and like, be confident in these situations. It will come. Give yourself grace and be willing to learn, ask questions, and find someone that you feel comfortable asking questions to, whether that's like an old preceptor or friend or, a charge nurse. Make sure you have someone every shift that you feel comfortable going to, and ask them questions if you have them, because there's nothing worse than you not feeling comfortable going to someone, or you could have asked someone a question that could have prevented a mistake. Like, it's so much easier on everyone and better for you to just ask, and then hopefully that person can educate you and teach you. Like, you're not gonna know everything. Even in 10 years, you're not gonna know everything. You'll be super knowledgeable and confident, most likely, but like, medicine is always changing. There's always room to learn, and it's okay to feel stupid, because most people feel stupid when they start out. If you don't, honestly, my thing is, the new grads that are like super cocky, overly confident, act like they know everything, are the scariest ones to me, because they're not going to ask questions, and that typically leads to a mistake. Like, you don't know everything, and make sure you have that mindset that you don't, and be willing to learn, because you can soak up so much more information if you have that mindset. Be willing to learn, be willing to just, those nurses you admire that you're like, wow, you're so smart, cling to them. Like, cling to them and soak up everything you can. And one day you will be that nurse for someone else, which is so cool for that like full circle moment. I'm feeling lost and frustrated in current nursing job. Do you have any tips to help branch to new units? Honestly, leave. Just do it. Like, Brandon is laughing at me for saying that. There's no point in you being unhappy at your job when there's so many options in nursing, and people will make you feel bad. People will make you feel bad. They will guilt you for leaving. They'll say you're a traitor, whatever they want to come up with. Who cares? You gotta do what's best for you. It's your life. Like, I let people guilt me and make me feel bad for so long for doing what was best for me. Why should I? It's my life. And honestly, they're probably jealous because they don't have the courage to leave. They're unhappy at their job too, but they can't leave because they're comfortable, and it's scary doing something out of your comfort zone. But you just gotta do it sometimes, and you never know what opportunity is going to come your way when you try new things and try hard things and get out of your comfort zone. And so honestly, just leave. Apply to other jobs, shadow in other units. Like, if you're not sure what else you'd like to do, there's so many options. There's outpatient, there's remote. You could work at a different unit. You could work total different shifts. You could do, like, there's so many different things. And if you're not really sure what you want to do, Google different jobs, like different specialties. You could shadow and apply, reach out to the manager, email them, say, hey, if you're ever hiring, if they don't have any jobs posted, like, I'd love if you keep me in mind. I'd really love to work for you. People pay attention to the go-getters that reach out and want things. Like, go get that. Go get it. You can do it. I believe in you. But that is it for my Q&A. Sorry for yapping your ear off, but I hope you enjoyed watching. Let me know if you liked this kind of video and what else you would like to see. I apologize for missing last week's upload. I was down bad. But we're back to Mondays. Regular Monday scheduling is resumed. I love you guys. Make sure you subscribe, comment any questions or thoughts, concerns, whatever you got on your mind. And I hope you guys have the best day. I love you. Bye.